Condemnation amounting from the four corners of the world regarding the Egbeko carnage in Manu division of the Southwest region, where presumed separatist fighters raped and killed more than 25 persons in that part of the country. But to whose advantage is this macabre act benefiting? High Prime newscast of today attempts for some answers. Plus, from the national triangle of the country, militants and sympathizers of the ruling CPDM political party celebrate the 41st anniversary of the party's chairman and president of the republic on his ascension to power. On how celebrations went in some parts of the country, we bring to you how it went. Hello there, viewers of High Television. You are welcome to High Prime of Tuesday, the 7th of November 2023. Representation, I am attending Larry Kevin Tabot. We start with this dossier of CPDM's celebration of the 41st anniversary of the ascension to Cameroon Supreme Magistracy by President Paul Biya. We start off with Buea, where in Fakotori section of the CPDM political party, militants and sympathizers of the CPDM political party under the section president of Barrister David Mafani Namange came out at mass yesterday to celebrate the 41st anniversary of President Paul Biya in power. So how they say they want to fine-tune the ways and mechanism where the party can win more elections. More with Alice Leke.
Militants and sympathizers of the ruling Cameroon's People Democratic Movement Party CPDM of Fakotori are celebrating the 41st anniversary of the ascension of President Paul Biya to the country's Supreme Magistracy. Though celebrating in a sad mood with the Egbeko carnage that took place in Manfe on the early morning hours of that said day.
Today is a day that we were supposed to be in total feast, but we are celebrating with melancholy. And in this state of melancholy, you can understand because some of our compatriots were murdered today in Manu division.
The event that unfolded at Bongo Square ceremonial grandstand witnessed different orators giving different eulogies to President Paul Biya's stewardship, as the section president called on all to stand behind the president.
The theme of this year that calls for us to be vigilant and to work together as one, and stand behind the head of state, His Excellency President Paul Biya. Is even much more timely for those of us in the Southwest region and in Buea in particular, because if we fail in doing that, this can happen in our community.
Thanking all who have accompanied him through this stage, as they called for the president to stand for another mandate come 2025 presidential elections.
Welcome to the representative of the Southwest Permanent Regional Delegation. CPDM, dear comrades, we are here to celebrate the achievements of His Excellency President Paul Biya since he took office in 1981 years.
And you can
we acknowledge and commend
team spirit.
Our president, chairman of the CPDM party, as the father of Cameroon's democracy, the consolidator of national unity, the infrastructural transformer, the wise man of Africa,
now as we
talk, and the greatest promoter of education, has seen the creation of state universities in all the territories in Cameroon, many private state universities, primary and secondary schools in all the villages in Cameroon and in Buea in particular. We acknowledge
the fanfare and hectic celebration engulfed the atmosphere was under the watchful eyes of the permanent divisional representative, Senator Lionel Papi Fondansing. The theme of the celebration was "Let's strengthen vigilance and rekindle the flame of our militancy behind our national president." A key highlight was the motion of support to the president read by the first deputy mayor of Buea Council, Minerva Mulinge, as the party's militants called on him to stand for another mandate for the 2025 presidential elections.
In that light of the 41st anniversary of President Paul Biya, let's now cross over to Tiko, where FACO 4 CPDM militants and sympathizers of Tiko joined their party peers to celebrate President Paul Biya's 41st anniversary to the raise of Cameroon's Supreme Magistracy. They gathered at the Tiko ceremonial grandstand as they called for President Paul Biya to stand for another mandate come 2025 presidential elections. Jabiketi has more.
41 years in power, a milestone for the Cameroon People's Democratic Party as the militants engage in festivities to celebrate with their chairman and head of state, President Paul Biya. The FACO 4 section in Tiko subdivision have also joined their voices to this jubilation with major mobilization.
CPDM is a grassroots party. The strength of our party lies in the base, in the grassroots. So the clarion call is for us to mobilize the grassroots, particularly at this time, in view of what lies ahead of us: presidential elections, municipal elections, legislative elections.
The FACO 4 CPDM militants converged on Monday, November 6 at the Holford Field, Tiko, to blow the trumpets and send good wishes to the New Deal government of President Paul Biya.
We are celebrating this anniversary in joy. You could have seen today, everybody was here. The population was quite massive. They were in joy. It speaks for itself. It speaks for itself.
It should be noted that the New Deal government was born on November 6, 1982, and as President Paul Biya clocks 41 in power, ears are itching to know if he will run for the next presidential elections come 2025.
We now take you to Bamenda, where militants and sympathizers of the Cameroon's People's Democratic Movement Party of Mezam in the Northwest region turned out massively for the celebrations marking the 41st anniversary of President Paul Biya's reign as President of the Republic, as Aisha Mbeng tells us.
It is the 41st anniversary of His Excellency President Paul Biya, who took over power on November 6, 1982. In Bamenda, the chief town of the Northwest region, militants of the People's Democratic Movement turned out in their numbers to take part in the anniversary celebration. The event was chaired by the CPDM Regional Coordinator of the Northwest region, Philemon Yang, who called on the militants to get themselves registered for the upcoming election.
We hope that the militants will, as the years go by, the months go by, get registered, because if they are not registered, they wouldn't vote. So any militant takes it serious because it's an obligation, a moral and legal obligation. So we're encouraging them to do that. We know there is insecurity, but we still go to the market.
This year's celebration was done under the theme, "Let's strengthen vigilance and rekindle the flame of our militancy behind our national president, His Excellency Paul Biya."
Away from President Paul Biya's 41st anniversary, we take you to one of our lead stories. Cameroonians in around the world have condemned the yesterday's carnage that took place in Egbeko village of Manu division of the Southwest region, where yet to be identified gunmen opened fire after raping young girls and women who were in their sleep, as the gangsters raped the little girls that led to the death of the killing of some 25 persons whose corpses have been deposited at the Manfred District Hospital. Claudine Tanfu tells us.
The people of Egbeko village in Manfred are in total distress following the carnage that took place in this part of Manu division last Monday, 6 November 2023, as more than 20 persons, predominantly women and children, were raped, butchered and burned by unidentified gunmen. The sad incident that occurred in the early morning hours was one that led to the rushing of many to the scene, as one of the inhabitants called for vigilance from all.
We call upon the population to remain calm, and we want to give them assurance that the forces of law and order are in the field to calm the situation. and ratissage is still continue, so that those terrorists who have perpetrated this barbaric act should be arrested and prosecuted.
The Makaba incident that has left many in the country and beyond condemning such high level of wickedness from the non-state actors who are now oppressing and killing those who they claim to be fighting for.
This is a situation which we don't know how to explain. How can people unleash the sort of wickedness, savagery on their own people? On their own people. They attack people in their beds, throw in fire bombs. Anybody coming out is either shot directly or wounded with a machete. This is the sort of thing we don't know what their games are. What do they hope to attain? We don't know.
The question begging for answers is when the liberator turns out to be the oppressor, a fight imaginary republic that exists only in their minds.
I call on my population to stay on the alert as the Ambazonian terrorists are targeting the population. I call on them to collaborate with the forces of law and order and give information as Cameroon remains one and indivisible.
That said, there is no hope as the corpses of the different victims were deposited at the Manfé District Hospital mortuary. The SDO for Manu, Vian Mekale, calls for vigilance and total collaboration with the forces of defense as security has been beefed up in the entire Manu.
You are watching High Prime and we are coming to you live from our main studio here in High Television. On to other church news now. The Synod of Juvenation of the Presbyterian Church in Cameroon, the PCC, has taken place in Presbyterian Church, Boyatown, where the moderator of the PCC, the Right Reverend Dr. Funky Samuel Foba, called on all Christians of the Presbyterian Church to stand firm with the Word of God as he expatiated on his sermon from the book of Isaiah 40 verse 31, as he says, it's time for the Presbyterian Church in Cameroon to rejuvenate and to impact more lives in Cameroon and beyond. More with our reporter on that story. The church service of the highest decision body in the Presbyterian Church in Cameroon, the PCC, the Synod, is taking place at PC Boyatown Christian, the Synod of Rejuvenation.
The Synod is the highest ruling body of the church. It is at the Synod that decisions to continue to move the church forward are taken. And so this Synod is Christian, the Synod of Rejuvenation. And we usually have an opening service of the Synod in order to pray for God's Spirit and for God's intervention so that resolutions and decisions that will be taken at the Synod should be resolutions that can move the church forward. So what we can say to the delegates who have come from all over the church is that they should pray the whole of this night so that tomorrow's Synod will be taken control of by the Holy Spirit and that the decisions that will be taken will continue to rejuvenate the church and in turn rejuvenate our nation.
The special church service that was presided over by the moderator of the PCC, the Right Reverend Dr. Funky Samuel Foba, would dwell on his sermon from the book of Isaiah 40 verse 31 as he prays for God to continue to grow his church.
But next year will be characterized with a lot of reorganization of the entire church from the congregation right up to Synod. And so all I can say is that may God continue to grow his church. May God continue to make the Presbyterian Church in Cameroon relevant in the nation of Cameroon. And may the PCC continue to stand as a symbol of hope, especially in our broken country and world. So that's my prayer for the church.
The service that was heavily attended by a college of pastors, traditional rulers, and scores of Presbyterian Christians as the man of God exhorted all not to give up in the whirl of turbulence.
With a lot of talent and can do anything if they decide so to make this country an oasis of love, justice, unity and peace, where life is not destroyed but protected.
Being the last synod officiated by the current moderator of the PCC, as elections of the new bureau of the leadership of the church has been slated for 2024, the followers of Christ have been charged to always pray for God's guidance and protection to reign in his church, Cameroon, and the world at large. Away from that massive celebration from the PCC, we now take you to talk developmental news reporting, where members of the Manu Dynamic Club MDC have launched their scholarship scheme in the town of Buea, where they are sponsoring some 5 university students or students of higher education in their 3-year stride when it comes to acquiring of education. This scheme will last for the period of 3 years as they want to encourage education to flow fluidly in the Manu sector. Our reporter covered that story. And now comes Bridget's report. The Manu Dynamic Club MDC is once again marching words with action after her last Excellence Award ceremony in Yaoundé last September of this year on the full-term university scholarship for a duration of 3 years to less opportune students of the SETS division.
Prioritize the sponsorship of underprivileged children who are promising but lack sponsorship, so that we can be able to make sure that as we move forward, there is a group of students who might in future come to replace us in this same initiative.
It's on this premise that a delegation of the SET Association from Yaoundé is in Buea to deliver on the SET scholarship package to these 5 students who are studying in professional-oriented domains of higher education in the country.
It's a groundbreaking one. Alongside our partners, we decided to move a step forward, not just give scholarship to children, excellence awards and let them go. This time around, we want to follow up the students in their higher education, particularly in professional training, from beginning to at least the first degree or an HND, so that we can be able to see what we have been doing in the past. So it is tracking that we are doing at this time.
The beneficiary is quite satisfied with the complete school package for their academic strides, promise to improve on their grades as they appreciate MDC.
I would like to thank the fathers and mothers of Manu Dynamic Club who in their power organized to offer this Manu Dynamic Club Awards to the Manu children of the Southwest region.
A daughter from Manu. I'm a student of Rafa Higher Institute of Cuba, studying midwifery. I just want to use this privilege to thank the Manu Dynamic Club for offering a scholarship. I'm very grateful and I promise to give them the best return.
Aside from the academic promotion, the Manu Dynamic Club has been quite visible in the different developmental strides engagement across the 4 subdivisions that constitute Manu Division.
I've been doing a lot for Manu. We've been assisting in various domains, education, the medical area. Principal projects that we've carried out, we had to give books to the acquired subdivision. Material. In the Upper Bayan area, we get sports equipment, laboratory equipment. In the Eyumojo, we gave medical equipment to the general hospital there. And in Mamfe Central, we gave a lot of books to the council, and we trained some people in the council so that can manage also the library project.
As the Yaoundé delegation leaves Buea, the beneficiaries were charged not to relent on their efforts in their book work. On to our sports dossier for tonight. Match day 6 of the MTN Elite 1 Championship has seen Victoria United of Limbe picked up her first draw so far ever since this match of season started against Avion Football, as they had a 2-2 match draw with the side from the central region. Avion welcomed the Southwest side in this 2-2 draw match, as Sonny Tangunyo reports.
After 14 days break, clubs of the MTN Elite 1 are back on the green turf. Equally, Victoria United will pick up a 2-2 draw against Avion Football Club of Douala at the Bipanda Reunification Stadium on Sunday, 5 November 2023. The game saw Avion open score at 1 minute of play, putting the side ahead of the encounter. The second shot on target by Avion secured them a second goal during the last segment of the game. A split point by Avion at home is not satisfactory.
Bon, comme je disais tout à l'heure, c'est le foot. On va rentrer travailler. Le championnat n'est qu'en jeu. On va rentrer travailler pour aménager ce qui n'a pas fait. Oui, absolument. Regarde le compétitif qu'on a ici. C'était 3 points de plus. Malheureusement, on ne passe pas sur le point.
A goal down at 1 minute of play for Victoria United secures them a 10-minute goal after serious chances as Nathan Wilford is fouled in the penalty box. After several scoring opportunities, the side is filed in another second penalty to give it a 2-2 tie.
L'équipe assez sereine et très professionnelle. Donc c'est vrai que nous sommes venus pour une victoire. On n'a pas eu cette victoire aujourd'hui, mais on ne va pas cracher sur le rêve qu'on a eu cet après-midi passé en face. On avait aussi une équipe d'Avion qui avait à cœur de gagner à domicile. C'est vrai, on a eu pas mal d'occasions, on n'a pas pu concrétiser. Mais nous allons essayer de travailler encore plus avantage devant les buts afin de pouvoir concrétiser nos nombreuses occasions la prochaine fois. Dans le jeu, je sors honnêtement, vous aussi vous avez vu le même match que moi. Je pense qu'on a dominé dans le jeu, on a essayé de construire, de défendre en avançant, de procéder aux attaques placées, à l'équipe des activités et l'axe. D'ailleurs, c'est parce qu'on a bien joué qu'on a eu assez d'occasions. Vous ne pouvez pas avoir des occasions de but si vous ne jouez pas bien.
Draw takes Victoria United to the fifth position on the table with 4 points and will welcome UMS of Luma at the Centenary Stadium on Sunday, 12 November 2023, while Avion will battle with Stade Renard, counting for match day 7 of the MTN Elite 1 Championship.
With that sports story on MTN Elite 1 Championship in Cameroon, this is where we'll conclude this package of High Prime of Tuesday, the 7th of November 2023. Thanks for watching and good night from the center.